what was your biggest takeaway from last night? I know there's a lot of them, but what would you say was the biggest one for you guys?
I think right away, just the tone setting nature of the offense. Like we've seen the offense be really good up to this point, and obviously it had some great stretches during the UAB game, and during the Louisville games where like you could tell like this is really clicking. I don't think it clicked like so consistently until we saw them against Florida State. Like they were saving stuff for this game, and they were gonna like, you know what, we're gonna score 5 touchdowns in a row to start this game. Like that's how good this offense was, and they really just did whatever they wanted out there on the field and going for it on like third and longs and getting them, fourth downs and getting them. They really controlled the entire pace and attitude of this game from the very beginning.
The biggest thing for me was leading up to this game, on paper, this was supposed to be a blowout for Miami. Everyone was patting them on the backs, and in the past 10, 15 years, we've always responded negatively to that. We've come out flat, we've come out unprepared, and last night was different. We came out on fire. The offense was clicking. The defense, they gave up one long drive in the beginning of the game, but they were shut down pretty much the rest of the way. So we were clicking. Offense, defense came out on fire, which is something that we haven't really seen from this program recently.
Yeah, man, I agree with both of those. And I think, so much happened last night. Florida State, they just got destroyed, I want to talk about what this means for the rivalry. But I would say my biggest takeaway, man, watching this game, and I don't think there's a wrong answer here, but I found myself watching this game and I'm seeing Jalen Knighton get early snaps. I'm seeing Don Chaney run the ball as physical as he runs the ball. I'm seeing our young wide receivers, guys, we got some youth in this team. And then if you look at the quarterback position, De'Aaron King most likely is going to be gone next year, but we got N'Kosi Perry. And I think what I like about the situation that we're in now is we got some younger guys that are learning from good leaders. So, I look at N'Kosi, he's learning from De'Aaron King. I look at Jalen Knighton and Don Chaney, they're learning from Cam. Even when you look at the defensive line, Hunt is a beast. And he's been flashing like crazy. But then you look at a guy like Nesta who's leading by example. What would you guys say to the Canes youth movement?
Well, I think, like when I think about this team and the players we've had since the early 2000s when, we had that great run, is that we've had young players come in because they had to come in, because we needed like this infusion of talent. So we had to put guys out there. And usually it was at the expense of experience and at the expense of guys who are supposed to be leaders. But now these guys that are coming in, like with, being under De'Aaron King, who knows how to win, knows how to lead a team. I think these guys are coming in because they just are earning spots and not just, we need another guy. Even like Zion last year, like we needed a guy to play left tackle. But this year, even Zion got that start at left tackle because he earned it. Yeah, Campbell was dinged up a little bit, but Manny came out and said, like, Zion played great in practice this week. He earned that spot in the lineup. And you saw how he responded. He was dominant out there. He looked like DeBrickashaw Ferguson for the Jets some years ago. But, like the guys are earning spots. And, when young guys earn spots in a winning program, that's going to be a 4-year benefit for us. And I can't wait to see where it leads.
And I think we're finally putting our young guys in positions to succeed, especially offensively. We're running a simpler spread offense, which they're used to coming out of high school. Especially a guy like Jalen Knighton pretty much can slip on right in, utilize his talents. We don't have to rely on him. We don't have to give him 20 carries a game, but he can get enough carries to make an impact. With Dan Enos, very complicated. Wrong system for Miami. I'm sure that was talked about enough in the past. Even Mark Richt was relying on older guys, but Lashley isn't afraid to put young guys in, let them use their physical talent to make those splash plays for us.
Yeah, man, that was one thing fun to watch. It's even better. I was so happy that Manny put Jalen Knighton in the game early. I felt like he had some plays designed for him, just to kind of say, hey, FSU, y'all could have had him, but we got him. And I think him and I think Chaney, they're going to be great. Miami just beat these guys down. It was. I'm not gonna say I was shocked because I predicted this how it was go, but I think it's one thing to predict something and then just see it come to light. Just to see this, especially with how Miami has played down the competition in the past couple years. The only thing that people would say to me when I said this is gonna be a blowout is you gotta respect the rivalry games, the old cliches. What you guys do so good, and why I love your content is y'all look a lot into the past, past Canes teams, and y'all compare them to the present and to the future. I really love that. So I want to ask you guys: Miami wins their fourth straight. The fourth straight is a beat down, 52-10. The most points ever put up in a rivalry. Is this demoralizing the rivalry the way that Miami's doing these boys?
Well, I mean, I think back to some of the games and rather than go back to even when Miami was really on top and winning these games in a row. I think of when Florida State was really giving it to us during that 7-game win streak they had. There was only one or two that was really you could consider a blowout. That we weren't close or even playing them tight in, which is why I was so nervous going into it. Not that they would beat us, but that we wouldn't look the way we're supposed to because, it's a rivalry game and you have to expect it. And then I was watching, Texas almost lose, LSU lose, Florida having trouble in the first half, Georgia having trouble in the first half. So I wasn't getting my hopes up too much, but, that kind of win in that kind of situation with a Florida State team that's already going through so much, with regards to their head coach and issues with coach to players, I think it's going to hurt them for a while. And already the recruiting class isn't what I would call a very strong one. And if we're able to flip one of those two corners they have and bring them over to Miami's side, that's going to be a real shot across the bow about, what this rivalry is going to be for the next couple of years. And I think they'll get back, but, just like we looked at the golden time and saying, it's going to take us some years to figure this out. I think it's going to take them a couple of years before they're Florida State, real Florida State again.
Yeah, this FSU team we knew wasn't good. I was kind of surprised on how bad they actually looked, just in terms of not being prepared. They looked slow, they looked weak. They were undisciplined, which isn't necessarily new for them. But this just didn't look like your standard Florida State team. And when you go out there, you beat a team by 42 points. It's going to create some distance, especially in the state of Florida, with their recruiting, even though they really haven't been that involved in South Florida recently. They've got a few guys like Dante Lucas, but they haven't had that presence the last couple of years that they're used to having. So this one's just going to further distance us from them. If they come down to South Florida, they really don't have much to sell to their recruits other than playing time. It's really hard to come down here and say, hey, come play for us and lose by 42 to Miami. But this team, the FSU, they'll eventually get back to being, at least a solid team. It may not be under Mike Norvell. I'm not sure if he's the best fit for them. But this roster that they currently have is bad, and it's probably only going to get worse as more guys leave and their recruiting suffers.
Yeah, and I think what people should realize is after this beatdown that Miami gave them last night, there's not on that coaching staff that Norvell brought in, and you've got to think if they have another bad season, they're going to make some more changes to their coaching staff. Not maybe Norvell himself, but maybe Norvell brings some more of his guys in. They don't have a lot of connections to the area, Norvell, he doesn't have any Florida connections. I mean, you got Odell, you got Dugans, but I honestly wonder how much longer they're going to be on this staff. So I think Miami putting the product on the field that they're putting on, I think that's going to help distance us a lot. Guys, you're listening to NMD TV. I got my guys from Canes Legacy and Canes Insight. Y'all make sure y'all check out their content. Everything will be in the description.